Welcome to Nerd Alert, everyone. This week we have a special guest. His name is Malik Forte. He is the editor of gaming over for Nerdist. And Tim is gone. So, Tim fans, I'm sorry. He is actually out getting married this week, so congratulations to Tim. And if you see him on the internet, please congratulate him. But we're going to talk about Malik because this is his week.
I'll talk about that guy.
Yes, we
are.
Jerk. No.
That guy's a jerk.
He's a jerk?
Yeah.
Well, you need to stop reading those comments about him because I hear he's pretty awesome.
Oh, man.
So you're the gaming editor at Nerdist, and what was your path to that job?
My path to that job, I spent about 5 or 6 years as an indie blogger / YouTuber on the internet. I had my own thing going, and then I ran into the editor-in-chief at Nerdist.
Brian?
Brian, yeah.
Has been on this show too.
Yeah, Brian, yeah, you've seen him before. He's that's the man. And I ran into him at CES one year, and we were just at like a party, and we were talking just about everything pretty much. It was a very genuine like meetup. You know, when you meet people, you just know right away they're top notch sometimes. So then we kept in touch over the years, and about like a few years later, I bumped into him at PAX, and at that time I was like working with Ubisoft on like promotional things, and he was like, "Hey man, do you still write about games?" And I was kind of done writing because I had been indie for so long, and I was like, I want to get more involved in the business. And he was like, "Hey man, you know, you should come write for Nerdist about games. We need a game writer." And so I was like, why not? Nerdist is a pretty known brand.
He nonchalantly did as he walked into this awesome thing.
Well, at that time, Nerdist was still kind of growing, you know, like.
Is this the Geek Chic Daily days or after that?
It's a little after that, just a little bit after that. Yeah, so I was like, sure, let's do it. And it's been a great ride up.
Yeah. You have your own trading card now?
Oh my God. It was a good idea at the time, but that thing is creepy.
So tell us about what you do at Nerdist Play.
Yeah, well, Nerdist Play, that's kind of like my soapbox. It's my 3 or 4 minute time to just give my opinion about anything on the internet, from anything about gaming mainly, because games are my thing. It's pretty much my life. And I try to talk about subjects that are being talked about. Like I remember when Capcom was heavy in the tabloids, for their fire sale. I wanted to touch on that, so I kind of gave my opinion on that. And then I kind of throw it to the comments because I like interact with people. That's like the main thing, is just talking to people about it. So I kind of like get on my soapbox and then throw it to the comments and jump in there with everyone.
That's something I try to do too, but I'm not trying to make this about me. But I think it is interesting that you're interacting with the commenters, because a lot of people have the policy of, I'm not reading the comments at all.
Yeah, but sometimes they can be a little rough, I guess, and that's why they decide not to. But me personally, like, I feel like we're on the internet. This is our job. So I mean, like, if you're afraid of like that, if you're afraid of the comments and you're afraid of the internet, I don't know. But it does get kind of tough, and getting death threats and stuff like that, it does kind of hurt. I know that personally after the last couple of days. So.
Yeah, I mean, it can be rough sometimes when you say something that maybe not everyone agrees with. But it's. Yeah, it's really brave to say, lie about an opinion, your own opinion, just because it's popular. So,
right. Yeah.
You got to say what you got to say.
You got to say what you feel. I feel like everybody deserves transparency. They're devoting their time. They could be anywhere else, and they're here with you. So the least you can do is be transparent and just give them your honest opinion about things. So.
Wow, you're gonna fit in great here.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Why gaming for you? You say it's your life. And I'm not like putting you on the spot here, but what is your passion for gaming? Where does it stem from? Why did you choose this as the central focal point of your career now?
Well, for one, that was kind of like the thing for me when I was a kid. Like, I hear a lot of stories about like parents who don't allow their kids to play games.
Yeah, right here.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah. It's for boys. That's what they said. And I showed them.
What?
Yeah, I couldn't play the drums either because I was also for boys.
That's madness.
Well, I'm not good at, I don't have rhythm, so that's also went into that.
Are you sure that wasn't like the real reason?
Also, like, I don't think parents want a kid practicing on drums all day in the house.
That'd be annoying. It's all Step Brothers. We don't want any situations like that.
Don't you touch my drums!
Exactly.
Don't put your balls on them. Yeah. Anyway.
But no, for me, it was like when I was a kid, my mom, she put the console in front of me, and she let me play games, and you know, that was kind of like the distraction from what was going on around me, because I grew up, you know, under the poverty line where there was lots of crime and stuff in my neighborhood and things of that nature. So the games were like, don't go out, don't be distracted by that, just play the games. As long as you do your homework, you got the games. So I played games, and freaking, you know, just growing up with that and growing up with playing them, they've become like a pretty, you know, important part of me as a person, because I just spend so much time like being connected with like what a game is. And so, yeah, that's probably why I bleed pixels is what I tell people. If you cut me, I will bleed pixels. Don't test that theory though.
But I do think that's an interesting thing for your mother to do, to like say, hey, here's a gaming system, get into this, because that's not something you hear very often.
Yeah, and you know, she was really proactive about like sitting down with me with stuff I was playing, like with Mortal Kombat. I remember that was a thing, you know, like
that was controversial back then. Well, maybe still now.
Yeah, well, this is a good opportunity for my mom to use like this very gory game to kind of explain like violence and to explain, you know, sexual themes and things like that. It was easier for her because, you know, sometimes a mom talking to a son is kind of difficult, you know, and so like to bring the conversation up, if there's a game with sexual themes, it kind of gives her a segue into talking about that with me. And my mom's a dope parent, as you can see. I'm kind of my mama's boy. So
I like your mom because, you know, these days a lot of the times violent video games get the scapegoat for violent behavior, and that's something I've disagreed with time and time again on this channel, at least, because I feel like a lot of it does come down to being responsible, taking responsibility for your actions, and also parents giving mature games to their children and then wondering being like, oh, it's your fault, even though I don't think it's the game's fault at all. But then, you know, there's many levels there. But your mother took that as a way to, you know, I'm going to introduce these topics to my son who is going to grow up and have to confront these eventually, because I'm not going to, you know, shelter him from everything.
Yeah, it was definitely an easier way for her to start those conversations. And at the same time, it was over a game and I'm having a good time, we're having fun, we're laughing. So, you know, it was after that, you know, and playing them over the years, you know, they've been very educational, they've been very inspirational, like with the different games I've played, and it's just been something that.
What was your first system?
My first system was, an NES. An NES was the first system I owned. Now there was I went around and played Atari like at my family, you know, I had cousins who had Ataris and stuff. Like, oh, that's cool, but an NES was my first system, and I definitely learned about temper tantrums through that, because like I remember playing Mario 3, and there was the level with the big fish that like comes out of the water and eats you, and like for some reason this fucking fish had a vendetta against me or something, man, because like every time like he would just, it's no matter how I timed, like passing that area, the fish would get me, and I'll just remember I would shout and have temper tantrums and throw my controller and stuff. So, and like my mom, she would sit over and, you know, just kind of like laugh about it, and then kind of tell me like, look, this is just a game. You need to like calm down and relax. And then I learned about patience, and I learned about, keeping at it, you know, little things like that.
Determination.
Being diligent, you know, things of that nature through games. But Mario 3.
I love this.
That's my game.
I'm glad that your mother your mother raised you, but had the help of games to help form you into a normal functioning adult who still has a passion for these games and these wonderful things that they do.
Yeah, and I think ultimately, like, I just always have fun with games. Like, I have fun with a lot of things, but I have more fun with games. And so as long as I'm having fun and I'm happy, that's all that matters, and games are my happy place.
All right. That is fantastic and a great way to think about all of this. I certainly agree. Malik is going to be here all week to talk about all the stories that we have on Nerd Alert. Some of them aren't gaming. Most of them are gaming, though. So check that out. Thank you, Malik, for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.